Welcome back to Grumpy Vet Garage. I'm the Grumpy Vet Dino. And in a previous video, we installed 3 items on the 2021 Supra. 2 of them being not so much performance adding mods, being the Blitz strut bar and the Forge Motorsports charge pipe. Granted, I like the strut bar, and the charge pipe's going to allow us expandability to install water methanol in the future. But we also installed the AFE Carbon Track Series intake, and that was the one item that I believed had the opportunity to add power to the car. If you want to see those installs, I'll leave a link to that video in the description. But per AFE's site, their website, they posted a dyno chart that had a Supra gaining 30 horsepower and like 15 foot-pounds of torque. I was hoping to kind of quantify whether or not that was possible. I was a bit skeptical of the idea that the car was going to pick up all that much power from an intake install, especially seeing how it's pretty commonly repeated knowledge that intakes don't add power to these cars. So again, I was hoping to quantify that with the Draggy. That's why we did our baseline, and we went out and did another Draggy pull with this vehicle. In the baseline video, I showed a Draggy run that got a 4.33 second 0 to 60, but I didn't post it, but I also did a 4.55 without launch control. So the method I used was, on the farm road, I went down one and then back and then compared them. The road's relatively flat, so I didn't notice any difference in the one without launch control. And then the run down and then one back with launch control, also consistent time. That's how I got the 4.33 0 to 60. Looking online, that seemed to be a pretty standard 0 to 60 time for a stock Supra. So I went out and did the Draggy run, and kind of the same thing. I did a down and then I did a back. I only did launch control. I figured the without launch control wasn't necessarily going to help us in our pursuit of performance and quantifying that performance. So let me go ahead and show you that Draggy run now. Okay, so let me go over the numbers of what we got. So with our updated Draggy run, we had a 60 foot of 2.01 seconds, a 0 to 60 of 4.13 seconds, and then an 1/8 mile of 7.93 seconds at 91.49 mile an hour. To compare that quickly to the baseline, we picked up 1,000th of a second in the 60 foot, 2/10 of a second in the 0 to 60, and then a full 1/10 of a second in the 1/8, with over a mile an hour, maybe a mile, 1.5 mile an hour increase in the trap speed in the 1/8. I must admit, surprised by that result. The 2/10 0 to 60 is great. That sounds to me like AFE's estimate of horsepower is correct. But another part of me, the skeptic in me, is like, how exactly? So the only 1,000th in the 60 foot makes sense. There's a limit to traction. In the first video, broke traction a little bit. In the second video, definitely broke traction. And then the 0 to 60, 2/10 is quite a bit, as well as a 1/10 in the 1/8. I don't know how, and somebody could probably tell me in the comments, I don't know how accurate the conversion rates that they show online of, if you run this speed or this elapsed time in an 1/8 mile, that translate to X whatever elapsed speed or elapsed time in the quarter mile. So that original 8.04 in the eighth in the baseline is a mid to high 12-second quarter mile car, which makes sense. That's what this car is. But jumping down to a 7.93 makes this car a solid mid 12, possibly low 12 quarter mile car. And again, I'm pleased. The draggy felt different. It pulled harder. Granted, it was slightly warmer that day, so I don't know if that would make the car faster. I would think that if anything, a warmer temp might make the car a little slower. But an intake by itself making the car that much faster, it sounds great, but I'm still skeptical. So let me know in the comments what you think about this. I went down and got that, and when I came back, I got the same thing in both trips. So performance increase. I'm excited about it. Where we're going to go from here is most likely a downpipe. Again, street build. Plan is to install a catted downpipe. Haven't quite decided on whether or not I want to go Active AutoWorks or I want to go AMS Performance. I'm leaning towards Active AutoWorks. I've seen a lot of people had good luck with not tripping a check engine light with that particular setup. I know that a catless downpipe would definitely get more power, but I'm not sure that's the direction we want to go with it being a street build. Before I go too far, turbo noise. Definitely upgrading your intake is going to make the car sound better. Definitely can hear the turbo spooling. There's there's 4 different mufflers on the OEM intake. There's foam in the bottom of the box. There's a muffler on the back of the box, and then there's 2 different mufflers that are built into the snorkel elbow going into the turbo. All that eliminated, you get the turbo noise that you're wanting. So to wrap it up, I would say AFE intake is going to get you some power. Is it going to get you 0.2 in a 0 to 60? Maybe. It did for me, I believe. So, but yeah, that's it on this stage. So hopefully coming up soon, stage 2 to this 600 horsepower street build with a catted downpipe. If you like this kind of content, subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to do more Supra content. I still want to do more Eclipse content, and then also something for my Silverado. I'm also doing beer reviews. So if you like that, again, subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, please hit like. And if you got any comments about the performance I saw with this modification, also I'm looking for some advice on eventual modifications. Where am I going to go with this car? I'm looking forward to the community providing me some guidance. I'm still relatively new to the A90 Supra and the B58 platform, so any advice that you could provide me would be greatly appreciated. So thanks for seeing me in my garage, and until next time, see you.